feel like I stopped you just now? Uh, Right, so you want to do ABA? Yeah, well, I'm doing, yeah. So, oh, I see, it's something. So, yeah. What did you just say? A, because it's like, yeah, A1. Yeah. Keep an eye on you. If you change your mind midstream, don't worry. So you think, I'll try it.
I can lean left, I guess. Here, I'll move them close anyway. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's good? Okay. This one, yeah, we really should, well, the board's going to be new. We should change the names. Test. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, 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 check. Good? Huh? Pretty much. I mean, I was like here, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4. Still good? All right. Sheberachim gam yachad, hine ma tov u'manayim. 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 Sheberachim gam yachad. Shabbat shalom.
Shalom.
To everyone here, we have a small crew tonight. Wish each other Shabbat shalom. I know you already have. Everybody at home, wish the people around you Shabbat shalom. It's nice to have people here and out there streaming with us. Welcome everyone. And we will begin this evening on page 6. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. We continue toward the bottom of page 11, singing Ki Eshmerah Shabbat. Page 16. Sing praise to Adonai with the lyre and melodious song. With trumpets and the blast of the horn, raise a shout before Adonai the ruler. Let the sea and all within it thunder, the world and its inhabitants. Let the rivers clap their hands, the mountains sing joyously together at the presence of Adonai. For God is coming to rule the earth. God will rule the world justly, and its peoples with equity. We turn to pages 20 and 21 as we welcome in the Shabbat Kala, the singing of Lecha Dodi. We'll sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, and when we get to the last verse, rise wherever you are, face a door so we can welcome in the Shabbat bride. Shabbat במחשבה תחילה. Page 145. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Lai 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 lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv arabim v'chochma poteach she'arim ובתבונה משנה עיתים, ומחליף את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, כולל אור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור, ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Aravi. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Please be seated. Page 150. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadevarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Geshinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'aderech uv'shachpecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha ubisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem be'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim Ani Adonai Elohechem emet. We read responsively on page 151. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all.
Yet that oneness eludes our grasp, as imperfection and evil abound.
Before our eyes there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness.
There is evil enough to break the heart. There is good enough to exalt the soul.
When will redemption come?
When we grant everyone what we claim for ourselves.
Long ago we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High.
We learned God's presence redeems time and event, so we celebrate this power that makes for freedom.
Page 153. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch Shmo,
Aporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim.
Amen.
We continue singing Yismechu on page 154. Yismechu ve'malechutecha, shomrei, 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 shomrei.
Shomrei, 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 Shabbat, Oneg Shabbat, Mekadeshei, Shevi Shabbat, Kulam Yismechu, Ve'yikantu Metuvecha Shabbat, Yismechu v'malchutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat, Oneg Shomrei, 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 Shabbat, Oneg Shabbat, Ratzitamo v'kiddush Shabbat, Nemtat miyamin, Moto karata Shabbat, Yismechu v'malechutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat, Oneg Shabbat, Yismechu v'malechutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat, Oneg Shabbat, Zeher lemaseh, lemaseh v'reishi Shabbat, Zeher lemaseh, lemaseh v'reishi Shabbat, Yismechu v'malechutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat, Oneg Shabbat, Yismechu v'malechutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat, Oneg Shabbat. We rise for tefillah on page 155.
Adonai. Ananana svatai tiftach. Ananana ufi yagid. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Ananana Adonai. Ananana svatai tiftach. Ananana ufi yagid. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Ananana Adonai. Ananana svatai tiftach. Ananana ufi yagid. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Ananana Adonai. Ananana svatai tiftach. Ananana ufi yagid. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chastei Avot V'Imahot U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem Lemach Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Moshia U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Be'ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayei Meitim Atarav Lehoshia Morid Hatal Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed Mechayei Meitim Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Berofei Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Vishenei Afar Nichamocha Baal Gevurot Umidom Elach Melech Mevit Umechayeh Umatmiach Yeshua Ne'eman Atah Lehachayot Meitim Baruch atah Adonai Mechayei HaMeitim Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh U'Kadoshim B'chol Yom Yehalelucha Selah Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. In the middle of page 159. Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Ritzei v'Imnuchatenu. Kadeshenu b'mitzvotecha, v'tein chelkeinu b'toratecha, v'tein chelkeinu b'toratecha, v'sabeinu mituvecha. Kadeshenu b'mitzvotecha, v'tein chelkeinu b'toratecha, v'tein chelkeinu b'toratecha, v'sabeinu mituvecha. Sabeinu, sabeinu mituvecha, v'samcheinu, v'samcheinu
ותקלקנו בתורתך. קדשנו במצוותיך ותקלקנו בתורתך 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 ותקלקנו בתורתך. וסבנו בטובך.
Baruch atah Adonai, Kadesh HaShabbat.
Amen.
Page 161. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu, be'amcha Yisrael, u'tefilatam be'ahava tekabel, u'tehi l'ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha, el karov l'chol korav, hanei el avadecha v'chonim, shefoch ruchacha aleinu, v'techazena einenu b'shuvcha l'tzion berachamim, Baruch atah Adonai, המחזיר שכינתו לציון. מודים אנחנו לך, שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו, אלוהי אבותינו ואימותינו, לעולם לעולם מודים אנחנו לך, שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו, אלוהי אבותינו ואימותינו, לעולם לעולם צור חיינו, מגן אישנו, אתה הוא לדור מודים אנחנו לך, שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו, אלוהי אבותינו ואימותינו, לעולם לעולם לכל החיים יודוך סלע, יהללו את שמך באמת, האל ישועתנו בעזרתנו, סלע סלע.
מודים אנחנו לך, שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו, אלוהי אבותינו ואימותינו, לעולם לעולם
ברוך אתה אדוני, הטוב שמך, הטוב שמך, לך נאה להודות. We continue with Shalom Rav, our prayer for peace on page 164. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim
Shalom
al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim
atahu melech adon, lecho hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon, lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, tasim le'olam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael. Bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם, תשים לעולם.
Take a few moments now to pray or meditate in silence. Page 253. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Sheberach Avotenu v'Imotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel v'Leah, Hu Yivarech et HaCholim. We ask God's blessing upon those we love who are in need of healing. If anyone here or at home has the name of a loved one for whom our healing prayer would bring comfort, please share their name aloud. Vayishlach lehem mehera refuah, refuah shlema min hashamayim, refuat hanefesh urefuat haguf, hashta be'agala uvizman kariv v'nomar, Amen. Thank Lamantria dispar dispar. I spent 9 days at camp trying to remember that name. Lamantria dispar dispar. One summer when I was a teen, I remember a huge infestation of Lamantria dispar dispar at our house in Stamford, Connecticut. In fact, we had to wrap duct tape backwards around the trunks of our trees to keep the Lamantria caterpillars from eating all of our leaves. We almost lost our pear tree. The reason I had to memorize the new name of these moths, which were swarming everywhere you went at Camp George this summer, is because we can't really use their old name anymore. Anybody know what it is? See, as an offensive term applied to Roma or Romani people, the Entomological Society of America officially gave up the term last month. The taxonomist, Linnaeus, gave them their Latin name, Lamantria dispar dispar, in 1758. And they've been a scourge in North America since 1869, when they were brought to Massachusetts from France and got loose. And if you've ever faced thousands of Lamantria caterpillars ravaging your trees, you'll understand that their name, Lamantria, is quite appropriate. It means destroyer. This week's parashah, Shoftim, includes the laws of war, one of which forbids the cutting down of fruit trees to build siege works. The rabbis, using an interpretive technique called binyan av, apply this mitzvah to wasting anything needlessly, calling the principle bal tashchit, do not destroy. Thinking about Lamantria dispar dispar and not cutting down useful trees reminded me of a story by Rabbi Jonathan Sachs about a royal garden, its grand tree, and its pesky moths. There was once a royal family who lived in a palace with wonderful gardens. In those gardens, there lived thousands of diverse and beautiful creatures. They were of great variety and color, and they turned that place into a kind of paradise that everyone could enjoy. There was only one thing in those gardens that the royal family disliked. Near the center stood the remains of what had been, centuries ago, a great tree. But now it was withered, gray, and dry. This bothered the king and queen so much that they finally ordered it to be removed and replaced by a beautiful stone statue of an even grander tree. Sometime later, the princess said to her parents, "Everyone talks to me of the famous beauty of our gardens and the many creatures that anything other than the statue and a few small birds." The king and queen saw to their horror that the princess was correct. They had spent so many months admiring the new statue that they hadn't noticed that hardly any animals remained in the garden. Without wasting time, they sent for the court's experts and advisors, but no one could explain what had happened. Many years later, a young gardener was presented to the princess with an explanation of what had happened and how the animals could be returned. "It's a lack of moths, Your Majesty, particularly their waste." All those present laughed at the gardener's words, but the princess stopped them. "I want to hear what you have to say." The gardener continued very seriously, explaining how the garden's big animals fed mainly on the colorful birds, who owed their appearance to their own food composed of glowworms, who in turn fed on various rare species of plants and flowers that grew only so long as there was enough fertilization from the moths for them. And the moths were in turn food for many other birds, whose waste encouraged the growth of many plants that fed other insects and animals and which were vital to their existence. And the gardener would have kept speaking without pause if the princess had not sighed. But where did the moths go? How can we get them back? The gardener responded, well, nowadays, all the moths and other animals from your garden are in my garden. Long ago, my father collected that old tree you had torn out from the middle of your garden and planted it in ours. Since then, every spring, from out of that tree come thousands and thousands of moths. With time, the moths attracted the birds, and new plants and trees grew, providing food for other animals that, in turn, provided food for others. And now my father's old place is filled with life and color, all thanks to the moths from that big old tree. Excellent, exclaimed the princess. Now we'll be able to recover our gardens. Let us hurry. My people will all want to help. Within a week, everything will be ready. Your Majesty, I'm afraid that can't be, said the gardener. If you like, I can try to recreate the gardens, but it may take many years for the natural balance to return. Things like these do not really depend on how many people work on them. The face of the princess was sad and pensive, understanding how delicate was the balance of nature, and how careless her parents had been to break it so carelessly. So the gardener and the princess decided to build a vast public park next to the gardener's land. And with the help of her willing people, they managed to see the new park finished in much less time than it would have taken to reestablish the balance of nature in the garden at the palace. Moths, bees, beetles, maybe even mosquitoes all have their place in God's creation. All are crucial to the delicate balance of nature. Turns out that mice, shrews, and many species of birds love those Lamantria caterpillars. So no moths equals fewer birds. Fewer birds means more insects and less seed distribution. Bees pollinate 70 of the 100 crops that provide 90% of the Earth's food. No bees, no food. Mosquitoes? Well, I guess bats eat a lot of them, and if it weren't for bats, we wouldn't have... Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, I have no idea what mosquitoes are good for, but I suppose God does, though. According to Sefer HaChinuch, a medieval discourse on the mitzvot, the purpose of the commandment, Bal Tashchit, do not waste or destroy, is to train us to love the good by abstaining from all destructiveness. It teaches, for this is the way of the pious. They who love peace are happy when they can do good to others and bring them close to Torah, and will not cause even a grain of mustard to be lost from the world. Much as we might love to clear the mosquitoes, black flies, and Lamantria dispar from our camps, cottages, backyards, and wherever else we roam during our Canadian summers, let us remember that everything has its purpose. Nothing exists for no reason, especially the guardians of this planet, us. The blessing we offer our dogs, Larry and Stevie, at the Shabbat table certainly applies here. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam mishaneh habriot. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, for making so many different creatures. Amen. We turn to the middle of page 282 and we rise for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 285. May the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever. Ne'emar, Ehaya Adonai, lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom bayom hahu, Yihye Adonai echad, bayom hahu Yihye Adonai echad u'shemo echad, bayom bayom hahu Yihye Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Please be seated. Page 288. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. Mourner's Kaddish is on page 294. At this time, our Hartzion family extends its sympathies to our members and their families who have suffered a recent loss. Naomi and Saul Joel on the loss of their brother and brother-in-law, Abe Benjamin. Sharon and Shalom Prasow on the loss of their brother-in-law, Jack Estrom. Lloyd Wasser and Mimi Fox on the loss of their sister and sister-in-law, Ellen Wasser. Marnie and Stephen Batcher, Jennifer and Jeremy on the loss of their grandmother and great-grandmother, Luba Rotter. Allison and Jonathan Gord, Sarah, Emily, Jordan and Melissa Kate, Jonah and Madison, Amanda and Sam, and Sedona on the loss of their mother, mother-in-law, grandmother, and great-grandmother, Helen Klingman Kate. We remember, too, those whose yahrzeits we observe this week. Saul Baker, Ethel Berkowitz, Betty Sippen, Ben Coles, Max Dorfman, Celia Frisch, Abraham Goodman, Oleg Haken, Andrea Kirsch, Arthur Kirschner, Samuel Plattman, Lillian Kreisman, David Marks, Judy McCants, Ann Nelson, Alec Packard, Selim Sassoon, Aaron Shad, Kira Schachter, Adan Schlanger, Molly Schwartz, Norman Simons, Lillian Sonnen, Marilyn Tansky, Sadie Tobin, Alice Treister, Sylvia Zaitlin, and Nora Zimmerman. And as we do each Shabbat, we remember some of the Jews of our adopted town of Michle, Czech Republic, who perished in the Shoah. Marta Langarova, Gustav Lauer, Oscar Lauer, Clara Lauerova, Dr. Raoul Lederer, and Regina Ledererova. And if anyone here or at home has a name to share for Kaddish that I did not, please share their name with us now. We rise together as a community wherever we are. At this time, we remember too those members of our armed forces who have died fighting overseas, our brothers and sisters in Eretz Yisrael who have died in so many wars, and all the innocent people of this world who have lost their lives to violence, conflict, hatred, the chaos of nature, or neglect, as together we pray. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lomei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudisha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. V'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom bimrama. Huya asei shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And together we say,
Amen.
Please be seated. At Temple Har Zion, we acknowledge that we are situated on traditional territories and treaty lands. The territories include the Wendat, Anishinaabeg Nation, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, the Mississaugas of the New Credit First Nations, and the Métis Nation. As Jews and as a community, may we always strive to fulfill our Jewish value of tzedek tirdo, the pursuit of justice in our society. A few announcements before we conclude. Morning Minyan services are held via Zoom Sunday mornings at 9 a.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:15 a.m. Tomorrow morning, Torah study via Zoom or live if you've registered at 9 a.m. Monday at 9 a.m., a new series begins, The Mysteries of the Machzor, with Alden Solovey, who is one of the leading liturgists of our Reform movement. He's a wonderful teacher. You can register online and links are in your e-blast. He'll be teaching 3 Monday mornings in a row and then skipping to September 13th between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. I know that for the last session, Cantor and I will be there and he'll be discussing Kol Nidre, but each class will be discussing a different prayer from the Machzor. Monday at noon is Sip and Schmooze. It is not too late to book your spot on the green at the 24th annual T8Z Dick Grimm Memorial Golf Classic. If you don't golf, you can still buy a raffle ticket and have a chance to win some great prizes, including a Raptors Leafs sports weekend in downtown Toronto, Cakes by Robert, special occasion cakes, and more. Please refer to our e-blast for details, links, and other events. Go to heartzion.ca, check out our Facebook and Instagram pages, and like them. Thank you, Eleanor. I have to say, we get ambitious, and sometimes I can't remember if I'm singing the melody or not.
That's
right?
it. But that's exactly what I teach my choir. You're the perfect demonstration of learning the harmony as the melody, except in your case, you
When I
forgot
have to
the melody.
switch to the melody, I'm
not
always
fair.
unsure. Well, because when the mice are away, when the cats are away, the mice will play. We're going to conclude, because not only is Cantor away, but Karen's away this
Oy.
weekend. We are concluding with Yigdal tonight. Page 324. Get your tongues untwisted, because here we go. Echad men yachid Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Yasher koach.
Yasher koach. Baruch tiyeh.